For the past 7 months, I have taken a measured dose of mescaline once a month, in an attempt to fully understand the nature of this fascinating substance. It has done wonders for my life. One of the greatest benefits of the mescaline has been in the reigniting of my spiritual life. I was raised a devout Catholic, but fell off somewhere back in 7th grade when I discovered cool stuff like shoplifting, cigs, Kurt Cobain, and Playboys. I forgot all about heaven and hell, started drawing pentagrams on everything claiming to be a Satanist, until one night I had a nightmare and quickly cut ties with the Dark Prince, instead adopting a general agnostic attitude that scoffed at the mention of spirituality or God in any form. This sense of anti-spirituality slowly started to dissolve 30 years later when I rediscovered psychedelics. But it wasn't till I started growing cactus and exploring mescaline that my sense of God fully started to blossom again, but I digress. So anyways, last Sunday night was my monthly mescaline session, so I ran a quick extraction and went with 700 milligrams. I drank the dose in tea and then headed out to my hammock to begin my meditation. My last mescaline trip filled me with a beautiful experience of a direct connection to God's warmth. And since in the meantime I've been deep into reading Christian literature, Islamic texts, books on Sufism and other such spiritual literature, this time I wanted to head into the experience in a prayer that I found in one of the Sufi books. The main theme is getting into a yoga style, sitting position, and meditating on your earthly body diet, as your soul goes to God, so that's what I did. I was nauseous and uncomfortable, but I had a firm goal of leaning into my prayer and meditation, and to hopefully let my untimely imagined death pass and go into God. This went on for about 2 hours, with the discomfort slowly ramping up and the typical euphoric concept of mescaline nowhere to be found. Eventually, I had to get out with a hammer and move to the ground. I laid in the grass seeking its cool touch while simultaneously shivering from being too cold, and eventually I just started to violently vomit and contort. After a bit, the vomiting subsided, but the discomfort just escalated, slowly moving from a distinct physical feeling to a more spiritual malaise. I felt the pain of the world, the suffering of the downtrodden and forgotten. I felt for the poor, the hungry, the sick and suffering, man facing death full of regret, and on for what seemed like eternity. At some point I was overcome with this feeling that I was being shown the face of God as I had asked for. But I was a fool to think that the face of God was all shiny rainbows, swirls, and euphoric bliss. The face of God is also suffering, and that's where I was to find it first and foremost. I guess I needed to learn this the hard way. I laid there until it started raining. Physically and mentally exhausted, I climbed back to my bed and luckily fell fast asleep at the 6-hour mark. I woke up exhausted but feeling peaceful, with an even more complicated concept of spirituality to unpack. Until next time, cheerio.